Hi, I'm Yancida Ariano. I'm the Program Supervisor of Culture Connect Inland Intercultural Youth Wellness Initiative. And here we are joined by amazing interns that have joined this cohort where we talk about mental, emotional, and behavioral health and ways to destigmatize mental health in our community. And here to introduce themselves are our lovely interns.
Hi, I'm Naomi. I'm the Marketing and Communications Officer.
Hi, I'm Yara. I'm your Documentation Officer.
Hi, I'm Santiago. I'm Outreach and Programming Officer.
Hi, I'm Giselle, and I'm the Lead Youth Officer.
And here to speak on our behalf on mental health is an amazing guest speaker, Dr. Michelle Pruitt. If you would like to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Michelle Pruitt, and I am a holistic educator and metaphysical counselor. Happy to be here today.
On the topic of advocacy and youth, what are some more of the more effective mental health campaigns that you've seen in your times?
I've seen some cool things that students do. You know, I've seen the ribbon weeks. I've seen students do fun things. Our peer counseling students are available for one-on-ones, and then our social emotional learning students sometimes do things like they'll create little notes to students like "You matter," okay? "You are loved," "You are seen." It sounds so simple, right? But it's so impactful. When those students come and issue it out to the other students, even if they don't know them, I see the difference. And it's like, wow, someone wrote this on a note for me. Someone gave me a bracelet. Someone cares for me. Or sometimes it's a social media campaign as well, right? Can you reach out? We've seen assignments like this before, especially in our AVID program. Can you reach out, to 5 people for Valentine's Day and just call to say, "I love you," right? Or send a text that says, "I love you."
Yeah.
These are things that help people to feel affirmed, seen, a part of a community. And so it doesn't always have to be this huge, giant, campaign that's blasted everywhere. It could also just be a personal action that causes people to realize, oh, I'm not alone. Okay, people care. There are students here who see me, and I'm valued.
Just to follow up with that a little bit, how can young people turn their personal struggles into a source of empowerment for others?
I think young people are by nature more resilient. And I believe that it is showing our resilience. So talking about the struggle in an open way, whether that is verbally or in narrative form or journaling or posting right on social media, getting involved in art that's going to express that. I believe that having an outlet and letting that outlet be public in some way, which is so vulnerable and so scary. But if we realize that it is a collective issue, it's not a personal issue, it's not my anxiety, it's our anxiety, or even better, the anxiety. A lot of this comes and goes. You can have a mood change automatically because you are part of a collective. You are part of a collective unconscious, and we feel not just our own stuff, not just the personal conscious, but the collective. And so sometimes when oh my goodness, I feel really nervous. What we tend to do is we look for a reason to explain that nervousness. Oh, it's because my boyfriend didn't text me. My girlfriend didn't text me. Well, maybe not. What if you just felt the collective nervousness and then you don't own that? Then it can fall away in a few minutes. But what we tend to do is we grab it, we create a narrative around it, we hold on to it, and then we own it. And once we own it, it's sticking to us. But there's so much out here that is collectively felt that we don't acknowledge, that if we just said it's the anxiety, the depression, the mood, it's here like a wave, it's coming, I feel it. If I could just breathe through it, it's gonna also fall away and wash away in a couple of minutes. Instead of, ooh, let me get this, now I'm mad, now I'm anxious, now I gotta go to the bathroom, I need a timeout. Well, do you? Okay, let's go see if that works. And then you come back and it's worse because you've seen someone that you didn't want to see outside or whatever it was. Now you've built a narrative around it. But so much of this is a part of our shared experience. And when we are open about that, it's more easy to be vulnerable and say, you know what, I wrote this poem when I was feeling bad.
Yeah.
Read it. And then she reads, she said, well, those are my words.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. And then we're like, wow, how can that be? Because we're human, because we're more sane than we are different. And if we really start opening up, that's the collective healing.
So would you
That's
say?
what we need.
Oh, sorry. Would you say maybe being like the first to open up is kind of like the first step to like being more open with other people? Maybe you being the first to say, "I don't feel so good today," or well, maybe it'll like help others open up as well.
Santiago, I think that would be amazing, because then you break the silence,
Mhm.
right? You know everyone's feeling it. Like if we talk about the fires in Altadena, the Palisades, LA, we know that here in the Inland Empire, we all felt it. Some of us have family and friends that were directly impacted, or we were directly impacted. And so we feel that collective trauma, that devastation, that fear, right? And being open about that is normal. It's okay to grieve collectively, and allowing space for that. I think it will bring the healing that is required.
So I know you've talked about like your experiences and like your own mental health journey, but looking back, what advice would you give your younger self about mental health and self-care?
That is such a good question. And I thank you for allowing me to talk on that level, because when I look back at myself as a young person, in the 90s, everything was about achieve and quickly, and there was a timeline. And I rushed so much. So I would tell my younger self, slow down, baby girl. You know, slow down and breathe and enjoy life. You don't have to rush so much. And it's okay. I think that looking back, there were traumas that I suppressed. And one of those key ones that actually led to me to create, you know, better systems of support in the classroom, and then create my own business in mental health with Sedona Wellness on Wheels that I own and operate part-time, is this idea that a trauma can happen and you suppress it because you have a final exam the next day. So I would tell my younger self, go slow, let down the tough exterior, be more vulnerable, open up to people, use community resources, lean on the university, the school system, the community system, get involved in programs like El Sol that are gonna help you open up and be vulnerable and create safe space to do that. I wish I had done that.
So would you say maybe that like idea that showing mental health is being weak a little? Do you think that's maybe changed over time, especially in recent times?
Oh, yes, it has. But there's still a far bit of progress to go, right? Because
Still in its infancy.
it's in its infancy, right? And I think that we are still under a paradigm of perfection, man. And being okay with not being okay. You know? And when people are too okay, you know, you gotta think, wait a minute, something's wrong. How are you this okay? You know, and kind of looking at it through a lens of, all right, if all this person is optimistic and positive all the time, is that real? Is that healthy?
Or is it a front? Yeah.
Or is it a front? Or is it a suppression? Is this person gonna crack eventually? And I would say, more than likely, they will eventually crack.
Well, Dr. Pruitt, in your experience as a teacher, how can admin in schools create a safe space for students and their mental health?
Our administration is challenged with so much, just like our teachers are. Even though there's more funding, we're still under-resourced. So I think that I could speak from my school site. We have done some amazing things with very, very little. Our school site provides all sorts of resources. We have our community pantry for our under-resourced students. We have our wellness center. Our administrators are promoting that all the time. A lot of our administrators will just give their phone number out on the public announcement system. If you're not okay, call me. And they'll answer the phone at 2 o'clock in the morning. Our principal will answer the phone at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's not every administrator. That's not every principal. And so, you know, you really have to have a heart of service, of care, empathy, and compassion. And you have to put yourself out there in ways that, you know, may not be a part of the job description. But again, this is a collective space we've moved into post-COVID, post-geopolitical, socio-political, and the adults are the elders. The principals, the administrators are the elders. And so we have a responsibility to the young people.
Yeah.
And being able to be open to that and be responsive to that is key. And if you're not down for that, then maybe you shouldn't be an administrator. Maybe you should rethink your position in education.
Thank you so much for watching this segment of our podcast. There's more segments available. And if you like more information, feel free to follow us on social media. And if you're interested in being a part of the next internship, feel free to scan this QR code. Thank you.